From the Homestead Studios in Santa Clarita, California, this is a Headache Soul production. Welcome to Just the Tip-Sters, America's favorite true crime podcast, and I'm your host, Melissa Morgan. With me today is my beautiful and talented co-host, Joshua Bevan.
Pura vida.
What is that?
Well, it's Spanish, but it's specifically Costa Rican.
What does it say?
It's like good life,
day.
Pure life to you, whatever. But
okay.
But it's like, hey, good day. What's up?
I wanted to order that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was.
It's I want that.
Can you P-U-R?
Yeah, pura vida.
Oh, vida.
Like
okay.
Good life. Good life to you. Pure life.
No, not that one. What's the Ricky Martin one? Something
she
vida.
bangs. She bangs.
Yeah, that's it. There's something with the word vida.
Living la vida loca.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. So pure life to you. Thank you. That's beautiful to our Costa Rican friends.
It's Tico slang.
Tico slang?
Yeah, Costa Rican people.
Oh,
I don't know a lot about Costa Rica.
Me either, obviously, because I didn't know what pure vida.
I know they have imperial beer.
Oh,
that's a really
that's an important thing.
Beer.
And she bangs, she bangs.
Sure.
So there's really nothing.
I think
else
we're ready
you need
to go.
To know. Yeah. Let's get our passports.
Let's go do a podcast tour, live show in Costa Rica.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, sure, that's going to happen. Yeah. So Joshua is referencing the fact that we are back on the charts in Costa Rica, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so sweet that you try to learn the languages of our countries of support. I love that.
No, I dig it.
I do too. I think it's beautiful.
I'm ready to go on this world tour.
You know, I have enough trouble with English, so I don't even. No, you're the international one. You're the you're the pit bull of this podcast. You're definitely Mr. Worldwide. I am Ms. Santa Clarita.
Okay.
So yeah, there we
fair.
go. Job.
I'll go on the world tour, and you can stay here, and we can do a remote recording.
Remote. I love that.
Okay.
Except I will be trying to talk to you, and you'll be like, "I'm sorry, I can't pay attention to you. There's scantily clad women walking by, and I'm not sure what you're talking about."
In every country.
What about the ones that are cold? What if I send you to like the Ukraine?
They don't have heaters in the Ukraine.
You'll just turn it up really high.
Yeah.
So if there's any woman, they're going to be taking off their fur coats.
Are we big in Ukraine?
I don't think so. I don't know.
If you're in the Ukraine and listening,
and you would like Joshua to ogle you,
please write a review so all of your other friends can find us.
Friends are very happy to hear about our podcast. I think they probably have other things to concentrate on, but we are very big in Costa Rica and Macau. We have exited the charts in the UAE, but we'll be back because they cannot leave us alone.
Exactly.
We are like catnip to the UAE. So I am very grateful to the people in Costa Rica. Speaking of reviews, we would love to have you review this podcast if you have a moment. You can leave a rating or a review on any streaming system. Is that the word? Streaming platform that you use. Apple Podcasts has the largest reach for our podcast, but anything you listen to, if you'd like to leave a review, we'd be very grateful. That's how people find us. We got a beautiful review from Tipster Kathleen, who wrote a beautiful review on Apple Podcasts, and she entitled her review "The Best," which is hard to live up to, but Kathleen's words were so kind, and I love that she laughs and cries along with us, which I think is a lovely thing because Lord knows I can squeeze out a couple of tears every now and then.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Kathleen.
So we are very excited about our newest sponsor, our beloved friends Adam and Blaze at the Graveline Tours. And
all right.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty exciting. I'm excited. Joshua and I took our Graveline tour at the end of January, and we loved it so much, and I can't stop talking about them. And Adam said, "Hey, we would love to sponsor the podcast." So
sweet.
I have some friends coming in town from out of state. One friend and her husband coming from Washington and in June, and they're excited to take the tours. And this is going to make things even better. We have a promo code, which if you go to graveline.rip, their website, which I think I bragged about last week, being updated and sounding and looking really good and great pictures and great. And they're actually even adding tours like as we speak.
Oh, they're doing more and more?
Mm-hmm. I think they're
Sweet.
actually going to
Good.
do a specific one on The Black Dahlia.
Nice.
Yeah, I would love to take that one. But the next one Joshua and I are going to take is the Manson's Murderous Spree.
Yeah.
I want to see the Spawn Ranch.
Oh, it's actually going to Spawn
Yep.
Ranch?
I know.
Yes, I want to go.
So excited. I mean, I'm still like, it's 2 months later, and I'm still like so excited over the Death Becomes Her. So I found the correct name of the LGBTQ tour. It's called A Star Is Torn. Is that the most amazing?
Torn.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's awesome.
Yeah. They're like hilarious and funny and yet somehow still respectful and amazing. But if you go,
so good.
Yeah, they're amazing. We love them, and I can't wait to take the rest of the tours. If you go to graveline.rip, in the promo code area, you write Tipster40. You get 40% off.
Oh, right on.
I mean, that's like healthy. A way healthy, promo code and code. A discount. Yeah. The beautiful Adam, who owns Graveline, said, I would make it for more, but I don't want to sound crazy. I'm like, you already sound crazy, sir, but that's why we love you.
Yeah. No, wow, cool.
Yeah. Pretty gosh darn nice. So I read a quote today, one of those ones that makes you laugh and also kind of makes you sit up straight. It was a very funny female comic named Jen Lapp, and on Twitter at Jen Lapp Comedy, said it's weird how many women, including myself, are obsessed with true crime shows, considering we're typically the victims. It's like if chickens enjoyed watching Top Chef.
Yes.
Which I thought was a pretty great quote.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. She's funny and smart, and I like it. And, we've covered this in many episodes. Why do women consume most true crime? Mm-hmm. And everyone has their own theory. Mine is because we typically are usually the victims.
Right.
And whether it's a cautionary tale, like this is what I can do to not have that happen, or, oh my God, this person did this and I'll never do that again, or something like that. I mean, it's just, an opinion. It's just my opinion. Do you have an opinion about why chicks?
Are you really going to invite this?
Yes,
We're going to do the whole...
Yeah, it's going to be bad, isn't it?
How many episodes have we done on this?
A couple. A couple.
I think a lot of opinion. I think there are a lot of reasons that a lot of
there's more than
people,
one. You're right.
Like,
you're right.
But yeah, no, I think there's valid points to all of it. And yes, I think there's some fantasy involved. That's my
I forgot. Oh shit, we're gonna get letters.
Yeah.
Again. God damn it.
Yeah.
Erase. Yeah. Forget you asked Joshua anything. You are going to have to give me your opinion a little later as a parent about something. So save your opinions for that, motherfucker.
Shove your opinions
keep it
back
down,
in your
keep it down,
face hole.
Shove down into you, and then wait a little bit later. You're going to be getting on your podium soapbox, and you can say whatever you want.
All right, fine.
So this episode is actually more of an update than a full-length episode. It will probably not be short because I think we're both going to have a lot to say. But the episode we're going to be recording in a few days for next week will be a full-length episode, and I took a little time off last weekend to go to Laguna Beach for a long weekend. Mark and I were gifted a timeshare, and it has been one of the joys of my life. It's not especially easy to go without Mark, but I needed the time away, and I was going to do a remote with Joshua, and he was so patient and flexible with me, and I was just like, I can't. Can we just do it this week? So thank you for making your schedule, open to do it on a different day at a different time, because I needed the break.
You're welcome, of course. And listen, really, really good job taking care of yourself. I'm really proud of you for going and doing
don't
that.
Make me cry.
And
I appreciate you saying that. I don't feel like I'm doing such a great job, but thank you.
I understand that you don't feel like you are, but you fucking are.
Oh,
and good work.
Yeah, don't make me cry. I can't cry this early. I can't cry this early. I'm trying. Thank you. Yeah, don't be nicer. Don't be any more.
I won't go
nicer.
hard on air. I'll tell you later.
Yes, please. Yeah, just get me down and punch me. Good job taking care of yourself. Just beat it into me.
Self-care.
All right. So big news this week. We knew the case that we had covered in episode 261, Caitlin Markham. I'm trying to remember. I believe that it was Tipster Jerry. who sent this to me, if I remember correctly, because he is like a fount of knowledge. He keeps sending me articles and things, and I'm like, thank you, brother, because I wouldn't know about this stuff if it weren't for you. And the person or entity that covers the case, I think the best is I guess it's a podcast, but I can't find it on Apple. And I just recently saw some things on the Facebook page. Other people are having trouble finding it too, but you can find it on Stitcher. I believe it's called Gone Before 21 or Gone by 21. The person's name is Ryan Green, and he is the, I guess, administrator, moderator of the Facebook page Gone Before 21. Or if you even just look in the search engine of Facebook, it's KATELYNMARKHAM. And if you're in Ohio or Indiana, you probably know a lot about this case already. So we had covered Caitlin's case in episode 261, and a lot has happened in the last week or so. In February, I think one of the reasons that I'm pretty sure it was Tipster Jerry sent the case to us is that Caitlin's fiance, John Carter, I started to say best friend, but I don't know that that's true. A very good friend, John Palmerton, was picked up for perjury, 12 years, remember?
Right.
12 years after her body was found or after she went missing. It took almost 2 years to find her. So
something in his statement was
his original statement to police. He was able
false.
To be picked up on perjury.
Okay.
So he'd been in custody since February. Okay. And then in middle of March, John Carter's picked up. I don't understand this, and I couldn't find any legal person to explain it to me. He is charged with 2 counts of murder.
2 counts of murder? Are they different counts? Is it like...
I don't know.
Okay.
Can't find out. I was like, it's one person.
Right. I mean, obviously it's just, but yeah, I'm wondering, is it stacked? Is it first degree murder or second degree murder? And then if they can't make first degree, then they
can you
go
do
for
that?
Second. That's what I wonder.
Maybe it's a state to state difference. And Ohio is an unusual state. And also maybe because she was found in Indiana, maybe a 2-state thing.
Oh.
Because here's the thing. Okay. In this this court proceeding on, I guess it was the 23rd, it was like a bond hearing. And John Carter pled innocent. But to get the bond raised up, the DA, Mike Mosier, did something very unusual. He read from John Carter's diary.
Oh.
I've never heard that done. I believe he used it to explain to the judge why it should be a high bond, even though John Carter has had no criminal activity, no juvenile adjudicated cases, not even like a parking ticket or something. But it was like to make the bond higher because of, he sounds like John Carter could flee. He actually said that in some of his diary writings, which I'll explain. I had another defense attorney, I think his name's James Bogan, was on, and some of this information comes from 2 really great interviews, Scott Sloan and Bill Cunningham, both on the Cincinnati station WLW, and they have both covered it. Really great information on Ryan Green's Facebook page. I mean, you can find stuff everywhere. I found this amazing letter from John Carter's employers. It's very interesting. This case is I'm very proud of the state of Ohio, and how they're covering it, the information that's come out. I'm very, very proud of what they're letting out and what they're probably holding close to the vest to make sure that it gets, that it can't be compromised. Right. But it's some interesting motherfucking shit here. So the bond hearing, and I will tell you that the judge ended up setting the bond at $1 million, which most people think is pretty appropriate for what happened. I still don't understand why 2 counts of murder, but I bet there's somebody out there who can explain it to me. I feel a little ignorant on this, but I was like, I do not understand why 2 counts of murder. Maybe it's the double state thing, but here's another theory. I could be very wrong. In this, I guess they call it the information packet that is presented to the court by the district attorney. there is some information that Caitlin was murdered somewhere else, which we always thought that, buried someplace else, and then placed at this state park in Indiana. I think it was called Cedar Creek. She was near, like a creek.
God.
Yeah. So maybe it's like, I don't want to say abuse of a corpse or something, because that's not murder, but it's.
Yeah. Well, you said specifically two different counts of murder.
Yeah. He's charged on 2 counts of murder, and I don't understand. He didn't murder someone else. Maybe she was pregnant.
Oh.
I don't know.
Does that count? Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Hi, Scott Peterson.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this.
You know what? I shouldn't say that. State by state.
No, I'm imagining it's state by state.
Like in DC, it's 1 count of murder if the woman is pregnant, but in other places, it's
Okay.
double murder.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it. I can't find the precedent. Why is he charged with 2 counts of murder? So I can tell you that his present fiance is pregnant. He has a fiance with a 4-year-old daughter, and then she is going to be delivering in September.
All right.
So he's, that's one of the things that his defense attorney used to say he's tied to the community.
Right. He's got.
And from all reports, he's, lived in either, Hamilton County, he lived in Fairfield County. He lived close by. His family had this farm in Indiana, which her body was found on a route that would be between where they lived and his family's farm, which is another. I'm just going to tell you this is very damning information, but it is absolutely positively circumstantial.
Okay.
They have to have something more.
That's in order to do this and especially such high profile. They've got something.
They have to have something more than sweating John Palmerton and getting him to talk and saying something. They ended up, maybe it was because of the information John Palmerton gave, they were able to enact a search warrant on the home that John Carter lived in 2011. August of 2011 is when Caitlin went missing, and she was found like a year and a half, almost 2 years later. And, they got a search warrant. They took out like 11 or 12 boxes of stuff, but there are pictures that are of writing that are really.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to try to include those.
Write about it all in his diary?
Oh, yeah. And even on I don't know what you call it, above a door, the area above a doorway.
There's
writing in his own hand.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things that the district attorney of Butler County, Mike Mosier, read from this diary that they obtained in the house that he lived in with his mom. He was 21 years old at the time. He's now like 30, 33, 34. And I think he sort of thought of himself as like a poetic writer.
Okay.
Above the door and handwritten, which, James Bogan, the defense attorney, said, I want to make it clear he's not John Carter's defense attorney. He's just a very well-known defense attorney commenting.
Okay.
Giving the other side of like what,
Got it.
He said, I'm assuming someone would do a handwriting analysis because it's handwritten. And it says, I slit your wrists with the key to your heart.
Well,
now
without the rest of this context,
yes,
that seems kind of creepy romantic. Like that's that kind of weird thing that some people would do.
Just sit down and take a seat because there's more.
Yeah,
right. If she weren't dead, maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the other part that's fascinating. It was released in court that she had 3 to 4 sharp force cuts on her wrists.
Oh boy. Yeah.
All of this is circumstantial.
Yeah.
It is also extremely damning.
Yeah.
One of the other writings was shut up, get off the phone. I'll say when you can talk.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't even know. Yeah. So I love her, but she must die. He also speaks in like a two-person conversation with himself, which would not lend itself to him being considered not able to stand trial. I can't think of the word.
You're talking in his diary that he talks to himself.
Mhm.
I journal that way sometimes.
I think a lot of people do.
I think it's just a writing.
Yeah.
It's a way to write. Like that doesn't.
Did you write this?
Well,
I don't love her, but she must die. You have to kill her. No, I don't. How do you talk me into these things? I'm just that good.
oh my God.
Who's that good? No one.
Yeah, no, I did.
Did you write that?
I did not write that.
Okay, good. Good. Did you ever write, I can't kill her? Oh no, what have I done? What did I do? I'll bury her under the trailer and wait till the grass grows over it and leave before anyone knows.
Oh my God.
Did you ever write that?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Listen.
Yeah, bro. Things ain't going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, his defense attorney can say, well, it's just poetry, whatever. But
I mean, art can be debated.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty damning.
Yeah. It's your wrist. I cut your wrist with the key to your heart, written with what looks like it's thin, so it's not like a Sharpie, but maybe it's different than a pencil. It looks like some sort of a pen, maybe just like a Bic pen. So sometimes they smear a little bit,
Oh, okay.
So it looks as if someone had tried to wipe it off.
Oh.
But it's still there. And this is the interesting part. On both sides of the door are those hangers where you can hang like a wreath. Like a holiday.
Festive.
Yeah. For Valentine's Day. Something sweet like that. Yeah. It's very
oh my God.
So when I say I'm proud of Ohio, I truly mean it, because this business that he worked at responded in a way that I thought was so professional. I was very impressed with this company, and to know that he worked at a nonprofit yeah. So it's from New Soul Glassworks. It's Neusole. Dear friends, on Wednesday, March 22nd of 2023 at 4:10 p.m., one of our employees, John Carter, was arrested while in the course of his normal shift. So I guess he was arrested at work. He was taken into custody without incident or involvement of any New Soul employees. Mr. Carter is no longer a New Soul employee. John was an employee since 2016. Prior to his employment, he interned without pay for approximately 9 months. He left our organization for about a year, working elsewhere, and then returned. John held the position of assistant studio manager and was an instructor for our classes. John was a dedicated and very responsible employee. There was never an incident or suspicion of inappropriate behavior while he was an employee of New Soul. Prior to John's employment, he was fully vetted by New Soul management. We were aware of his connection to the Markham case as her fiancé. As part of his vetting, law enforcement involved in the Markham case were contacted. At that time, in 2016, we were informed that John was not a suspect. Mm-hmm. John has been a model employee while at New Soul. He was one of our most requested instructors. And this company is a nonprofit that provides like art classes, working in glass for like underprivileged kids. And cool. I mean, it's a lovely, lovely place to work. I mean, if you got to work somewhere, you kind of make yourself look really good by working in a place like this.
Sure.
Trying
to balance the scales for something?
I don't think you hang in there that long unless there's something in you. Yeah. You don't make a shitload of money at a nonprofit. Yeah. Due to the severity of the charges levied against John, his employment with New Soul Glassworks has been terminated as of March 22nd. Any further questions regarding this matter should be directed to New Soul's Executive Director, Debbie Bradley, and they leave a phone number. Thank you for your consideration and understanding during this difficult time. New Soul remains committed to its nonprofit purpose of art glass education and awareness and looks forward to serving the greater Cincinnati community as it has for 2 decades. Sincerely, New Soul Foundation, DBA New Soul Glassworks, and it's signed by Debbie Bradley and Brian Redden, the board president.
Yeah.
I think they handled that beautifully.
I think it was perfect. Yeah.
I mean, I
Like,
was so
separate
impressed.
themselves,
Yeah.
but
But
not-
also,
not
list factually.
Yeah, exactly.
He worked here. He did a great job. I mean, they gave reasons why he was, a popular employee. And I mean, so they did their work, their due diligence, and also said he's no longer an employee here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really well done.
Right. Absolutely. And he's no longer an employee here. That's it. Not anything about his guilt or innocence or involvement or anything, like, not.
Well, they go so far as to say they vetted him, and at the time in 2016, he was not considered a suspect.
Yeah.
I find that very interesting. I guess there is a difference, and I've had a couple of roundabouts with a couple of homicide detectives recently on verbiage. I prefer person of interest.
Sure.
Person of interest is the only person they're focusing on in a case. A suspect is actually someone I feel like they have a little bit more hard evidence in. It casts like a shadow on you when you're a person of interest.
Right.
And I don't know how, I guess maybe Ohio uses the terminology suspect if you are seriously being considered.
Specifically,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But they didn't say he was not a person of interest. They just said basically he was her fiance, and that's all, the only connection we got, confirmation of.
And at that point, that's
not damning.
That's
He's just
not at
the
all.
fiance.
He's a fiance, and hey, poor dude, his fiance was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have to pay for that elsewhere beyond his own grief.
Well, and what happens. What happens, Joshua. When someone is murdered who is coupled, it's always
absolutely,
male or female. It's considered the closest person to you. It's always,
Absolutely. So the HR department says, hey, law enforcement, is he a suspect? And the law enforcement says no, and that's it. Let's hire him, and let's see what kind of a good job he does. I think
he did a good job, sounds like.
I mean, that's the presumption of innocence that we should run on in this society.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe. And we are still presuming his innocence because
we can't do anything other than that, except, hey, there's some
suspicious about his innocence.
Yeah.
But
there's some damning, shit here, buddy.
Yeah.
But I'm quite sure the DA wouldn't have read from his diary unless they had other shit to back it up.
Dude's got it.
Yeah. There's something. I don't know if it's DNA. I don't know. To me, it would have to be so much more.
Yeah.
Because this does not look good for him.
No.
However, it doesn't. He could say, I wrote that to myself. I will also let you know some of the things he wrote were before he was with Caitlin.
Oh yeah, and he just happens to be a kind of weird, creepy artist kind of dude. Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, not all. The things I've read were all after they were together. Some of it very shortly after they got together, and they were together a long time. Like, was it 6 years? So like when she was like 2021, it was like she was 16. Well, I guess she was maybe 22. He was 21. So like they were like 16.
Yeah. And I wrote some weird stuff when I was 16.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all have.
Yeah.
I bet you wrote better than that, but better than this shit. But I
didn't write any of it on the door.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know what pads of paper and yeah, that was interesting. The fact that it's still there 12 years later.
Yeah, and somebody just cleaned it once and it didn't go.
No, they didn't. Yeah. What had happened is the I cut is smeared. I slit. I slit your wrists. I slit. Yeah. I slit your wrists with the key to your heart. So you know how, depending on how you write, the L and the I could look like a U. So it looked like it could have been I cut, but that's an S. So it's clear that it's I slit your wrist. And it's not smeared enough that you can't read it. It's just like someone maybe tried to clean it and it just wasn't going to come off and they stopped immediately. And then they put a hanger over the door for a wreath, which, by the way, it's up at the top of the door. So you couldn't hide it with a wreath if you tried. It just, it's sort of, Anyway.
So he's going to start doing advertisements for the magic eraser product.
Yes, he does need that. He absolutely needs, his family needs magic erasers or something.
Yeah.
Because it is sort of odd that it's still there.
Oh,
and why would you keep,
no.
let's just say, these are just questions I'm posing that are going nowhere and mean nothing, but I'm going to say it. If you were of such a mindset that you had to get rid of a partner because of your anger or your rage or things weren't going well, why would you keep your diary 12 years later?
Right.
And I'm assuming when she had gone missing, and definitely after she had been found murdered and wasn't like a runaway, which we all knew that didn't happen. I'm assuming that they looked at that house upside down.
Yeah.
And they didn't find it then. And 12 years later, they find it.
Huh.
Right.
Well, so he's done running. He wants to get caught.
I don't know.
Is that,
or if John Palmerton, got picked up and flipped on him and said the diary is under the mattress in the guest room, buried by a duvet or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
You would hope that they had done a thorough search once, if not twice, once after she went missing and twice after she was found murdered.
Yeah.
I found it interesting that she was put in an area that, again, this is damning and not at all, clear evidence. She was placed in an area, that is on a route between the condo that Caitlin and John shared and John's family farm in Indiana. It's very interesting in this bond hearing that the DA read something that makes reporters feel that she had been buried someplace else originally and then purposely placed there later. They also feel like wherever the original place was she was buried, that she was murdered somewhere else. I don't know if that means their theory is she was murdered at the condo or murdered at John's family home or murdered at John's family's Indiana farm. And then, there has to be something, maybe they could go by soil samples or something. Like she was here one place and then here another place. I don't know, but there's something that makes it seem like she didn't start there. Like he didn't take her there, murder her there, and then leave her there.
Yeah.
He or whoever, allegedly.
No. And that's this all sounds, there's holes here. And
absolutely.
I have a question. I'm wondering how much someone was trying to make it look like a frame job. Like the double frame job.
Who would double indemnity? Who would frame him though? For what point?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So here's a theory that's did he do it and then try to make it look like someone else did it and tried to frame him?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going in the opposite direction. Like maybe, so Caitlin referred to John Palmerton as John 2 because, it's like her fiance, John, and then his best friend or very close friend, John Palmerton. So he's John 2.
Sure.
Which to me sounds like a personality assessment, like he's the follower.
Okay.
So like, I feel like I don't know why it would take 12 years to sweat him, but it sounds like the police picked him up and questioned him because they thought they could get something. And apparently they did.
Yeah.
And maybe John Palmerton was in love with Caitlin. Maybe John Palmerton was in love with John Carter. Maybe John Palmerton did something to Caitlin and tried to hide it. And then it turns out, everyone is blaming John Carter. I don't know. I don't want to say anything against John Palmerton because he might be a completely upstanding individual.
Right.
I'm just telling you the course of events and the calendar of how it happened. John Palmerton gets picked up for perjury in February. John Carter gets arrested for murder in March. I don't think those are, coinky dinks.
Yeah, no, something came up. Something happened that they finally have.
In his questioning, I'm guessing. I mean,
and you mentioned in the last episode, in episode 261, that John Palmerton made some kind of a social media post or something.
He was in a picture at this festival that they went to the night that she disappeared. He was in a picture. John Palmer. It's like playing a really weird game of Monopoly. So John Palmerton is in a picture with a man who eventually was convicted of murdering two women.
Got it.
And was at one point considered potentially a person of interest in Caitlin's disappearance, but not at all connected. So it was like he's already hanging around a convicted murder. I mean, before he's convicted,
right?
They're hanging around at a church festival.
Okay, but that wasn't the social media post. What the picture wasn't the reason they picked him up.
No, I think they just thought it was a very interesting piece of information.
That
it's like if there's a picture of me and my good friend Chuck Manson.
Oh,
at Six Flags.
Chuck.
Yeah. getting on a ride at Six Flags, it'd be like, wow, there's a picture of Melissa with Charles Manson. It's just, I think it's just like a thing of interest, it couldn't really be tied to anything.
So that wasn't okay.
Yeah. So I am going to give you the number for who you should call if you have any information on Caitlin's case. And this is the thing I want to get to, that I need Joshua's opinion. And you're just gonna, if you don't want to hear me complain, Tip-Sters, you're gonna just right now turn it off or fast forward,
leave a review, subscribe.
Yeah. Follow us, leave a review, because I'm going to try valiantly not to cry, and I'm going to try valiantly not to scream. And I'm going to ask Joshua to tell me to fucking calm my tits if I get out of line, because this has bothered me for 2 weeks. And the way it turned out, I am even more angry than I literally see red right now. Okay. Deep breath. So a young man went missing from rural Indiana, 14-year-old young man. And this will apply to Joshua, and I cannot wait for his opinion because he has sons in similar age groups. Scotty Morris. All accounts, Scotty is a very polite, respectful young man, well thought of at school. I do not have children, so me weighing in on this might, don't cry, might not sound like I have a leg to stand on, but I don't have kids. I was an only child. I didn't have siblings. My mom and my grandparents may have thought differently about how to discipline me. I never felt abused or beaten. I remember the 2 whippings I got in my entire life. I'm sorry I said whippings. That sounds terrible. Spankings. And things are different now. I'm old and people don't hit their kids much anymore. Hopefully not. Yeah. However, this made me so angry for Scotty's parents. Also for my own reasons, because of the way people said I reacted when Mark died. You cannot judge how someone reacts by the way you think you would react. So Scotty Morris goes missing.
Okay.
And the police made, in a rural Indiana town, and the police made a really stupid mistake. And perhaps his parents, in their worry about their son being missing, maybe should not have shared a specific photo. And some of you who are from the area, the photo has since been deleted, but not before causing a shit storm of huge proportions and ruining a family potentially.
Oh no.
Scotty was 14, and God bless my friends with kids who say kids are fucking shits. Yeah, kids are fucking shits. The picture, instead of like one of his school pictures, which is now the picture all over the place, cute little kid, 14, looks like he's probably tall and thin, has glasses, cute kid. Picture of him looking like he's crying, had been crying. He looks real sad. His face is like red and swollen from crying. He's sitting on some steps in the house, and he's wearing a white t-shirt that his parents have written on there, "I hurt my little brother," and the word liar.
Oh no.
a t-shirt that you would wear at home privately to shame someone
Right.
as punishment.
Yeah.
They did not hit him. They did not sequester him in a shack in the back of the backyard. They didn't make him wear that shirt to school or in public or in a grocery store. He's at home, probably had been reprimanded and wearing a shirt saying, "I hurt my little brother, liar." Yeah. He runs away from home as 14-year-olds do.
Sure.
And all I could think of was sweet Jennifer Grove, the sister of the Long Beach John Doe. And Kenny had run away and 6 months later is found deceased.
Oh, man.
And he had run away several times. And the family was asked, "Why didn't you look for him?" And they said, "We looked for him and brought him home many times before. And the last time he ran away, we didn't. And that happens to be the time he was murdered."
Right.
So it's cold. It's a much colder spring in the Midwest than it's been in a long time. Scotty's outside without his phone, without a jacket, just, a t-shirt with writing on it. And, his parents are very upset and call the police. And the police published the picture of him wearing that shirt.
I'm sorry. That was the shirt that he was wearing when he ran away.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And that was the most recent picture. So they post that picture.
That day. Sure. Oh, okay.
And then within 24 hours, they take that picture down, but not before his parents had been accused of everything from killing him and putting him in the trunk of their car to burying him in their backyard.
Man.
They did not react the way people thought they should react. And I'm just going to say this, and I don't care who thinks I'm crazy. The second I saw the picture, I'm going to say I pulled out my, tarot cards, which I don't know how to read, and said, he ran away from home.
Yeah.
Maybe he had really good reasons to run away from home, but he ran away.
Okay.
His parents did not kill him. I said that. And numerous people who are concerned and caring, good human beings who listen to this podcast message me. And I tried so hard to sit on my hands and not say anything shitty back to them because they were doing this from the goodness of their heart. And I was so fucking mad. And I wasn't even mad at them. I was so mad at people who have a platform, people who are big in the true crime world, who accused Scotty's parents of everything from cutting off his skin and making a skin suit to, wearing his scalp as a hat. And then there was a burn pit found with bones. And I was like,
oh my God.
Animal? Yep. Guess what it was? Animal. So I'm going to say it was maybe 10 days later. Maybe not even 10, probably 9.
Okay.
Scotty is found. Totally fine.
Oh, he's fine. Okay.
He's totally fine.
Okay.
And he's put immediately in foster protection, along with his younger siblings. One of the ones who I guess he has a younger brother, younger sister, but all the kids are taken away.
Family services take the kids away. Okay. Is there more reasons? I mean,
his mom was interviewed by the police. The entire time the police are like, his parents have cooperated fully.
Yeah.
At this point, we're looking in a different direction. His parents have cooperated fully. There's absolutely nothing to indicate that they're involved in his disappearance. The entire time, and no one believes him and no one cares. And it's a fucking witch hunt of these two people who are trying to raise kids. Did they make a mistake by making their son wear a shirt? That is a rhetorical question I want Joshua to answer. But in my mind, fuck you, no. They didn't hit him. Just wait a minute, Joshua. You're gonna have a chance because I want to hear what you as a parent say. Thank you. Good. Because I'm still fucking railing. Two people who are trying to raise kids and think they're doing the best job. Do any of us do a perfect job? No, we don't. Was that the right thing to do? I don't know. I can tell you I find it much better than hitting them. I find it much better than hitting their kid or any other sort of, you can call it emotional abuse, but the number of people that came out and said, making your kid wear a shirt like that is abuse and he should be taken away from them. I I wanted to scream at my computer more times in the last 2 weeks than I can tell you. And when he was found totally fine and healthy, taken to the hospital, checked out, absolutely nothing wrong with him. I don't know where he was for 9 days. The theory was, oh, it's spring break. There's a lot of empty houses. Maybe he was in a house. I don't know. It was cold. He probably didn't stay outside every night, but he comes home fine. He's found fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm shutting up now. Go ahead. All I really want to say is that I've unfollowed several people I respected greatly, journalists I respected greatly in the true crime world because of what they did. And then when he comes home, what they say is, best news ever, Scotty's alive. He was always alive. You will never admit that you fucked up so bad you fucked up. And you probably helped to split a family that was already split enough. Okay, now I'm shutting up.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was going to go with it anyway. I mean,
do you think it's abuse to have your child wear a shirt?
That's the wrong question.
Okay.
Because yes, it's absolutely emotional abuse, but first of all, Family Services does not act upon emotional abuse. I don't know other state. The only experience I have with Family Services is California.
Gotcha.
And there needs to be very, very clear evidence of physical abuse for any report to be made in California.
Okay.
And I'm talking really clean evidence.
Okay.
Because I mean we can get into other stuff later off of the air, but is that a reason to pull kids from their parents? No. Is it a reason for parents to look at their own parenting skills and say, well, maybe this isn't the thing? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Like listen, shaming a kid, the parenting part of it that you're asking me for, shaming is not an appropriate way to parent, in my parenting opinion. Do I go around judging other parents for doing it? No.
If one of your
I know that I don't do it. Okay. I know that
what would be appropriate if one of your sons hurt another one of your sons? How do you handle that?
Oh, how do I? I try to connect with both of my sons. One, I connect to the person being hit immediately and make sure that he's physically not in harm anymore, and I comfort him. Then I connect with the hitter and figure out why he's hitting, because there's a reason. There are boundaries that we don't cross with other human beings, and I try to teach my sons how to keep those boundaries, including when they're angry or under some sort of, any kind of emotion, high emotions. You still don't cross these boundaries. We still don't hit people. And it's when they're small, then it's more, hey, don't do this, and we never do this. We don't hit, we don't bite. When they're 14, like my oldest is 14.
Right.
It's like, hey, dude, what's going on? Like, why are you hitting, or why are you acting out right now? What's the problem? Why are you angry? Why are you upset? And we get into it and we connect on it. And I say, hey, please don't hit your brother. Like that kind of thing.
Is there any kind of punishment meted out or no?
I don't particularly subscribe to the idea of punishment.
I don't mean
parenting.
Like corporal, but like take away your Game Boy or whatever. Not that that's what anyone has anymore, but
no,
your PS5 or something.
I'm not their warden.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
but you are their parent.
That kind of an outlook on parenting doesn't connect with me. Like, okay. I don't.
So there shouldn't be any consequences for.
It's not like a consequence thing. It's what's happening, and how do we stop this from happening? How do I help
tell you? I don't know that
learn
Scotty physically hurt a sibling.
Sure,
it could have been emotionally or whatever. Because the word liar to me means it was more verbal,
and that is a making your kids sit and wear a shirt, that's shaming him, and that's not something that I would do, but I don't fault somebody else for doing it. Like, that's the thing. Like, parenting's hard, and we're
It's
all trying to
terrible.
figure this out.
That's why I can barely handle a dog.
And there's another kid who's crying and hurt or
Right.
whatever. I mean,
Right.
I don't know what the thing was,
Right.
but the brother is hurt. So you go into mommy bear mode or
Mhm.
papa bear mode, and you're protective of your
Mhm.
other kid. So now all of a sudden the parent is in an emotional state,
Right.
and then trying to figure out how to respond to that from this weird emotional state.
Right.
Do I agree with the thing? No, I don't. But
Okay.
do I think it's a reason to take away kids? Hell no.
Do
No.
you
and
remember
put kids in a foster system?
Yeah.
Like the other part
CPS.
is going to CPS and going to this foster
Mhm.
system.
Because he ran away.
It's messed. Like,
It's terribly
it's
messed
not
up.
a healthy system.
No.
It is not at all.
No. How many
That's
children
not
in
the
Southern
solution.
California do we know who died in care of
No.
people
No, and
that are supposed to be
I'm
there?
sure there are foster parents or
That are
whatever
terrific, of
that are
course.
great.
Yeah.
But
It's
but
not a
it's
condemnation
not-
of them. It's
but that's not the solution.
system is no, it is not.
No.
In my mind, it's not. I don't have kids.
I think the solution is take that one step further. Teach the parents how to parent.
I think that's a
And
great plan.
and-
If they would show up to like court mandated parental, classes,
Sure.
whatever.
Like,
Do you remember
listen,
being punished as a kid?
yeah, and I was definitely shamed as a kid. Like, that was a huge. I mean, I'm still
Processing
still
that?
processing through.
Did
other
any of
stuff,
that?
Yeah.
Did any of those things work
To work?
to dissuade you from any behavior that
Yeah, but that's not the point.
It's not?
The point isn't to immediately stop the behavior. It's to teach the child how to be a human being.
And to not do that again? I'm just going to point out. Look, I don't have siblings, so I can't give you a relationship to that. I was not punished very often in my life because I was kind of a priss ass. I remember
Sure.
one of the big times I was punished was I mouthed off to my mom at the age of 12, and she took my old-fashioned cool-ass French phone, unplugged it from the wall, wrapped up the cord, and hid it in the trunk of her car for 2 weeks. So I could not. And the thing when you're a 12-year-old girl is the first thing you do when you
Right.
get home from school is get
You
on the
get
phone
on
and
the
talk
phone.
to your friends.
Right.
I couldn't talk to my friends for 2 weeks, and I remember that. And I am, a senior citizen basically, and I still remember that.
Yeah.
And I didn't mouth off to my mom anymore. I thought before I said, anything that would be shitty. I could still
Yeah.
disagree with her. I could say, I don't think that's right. I don't agree with you. I'm going to do what you say because,
Right.
the thing that a beautiful, wonderful friend of mine, Susie, said, she has 3 kids. And I posted something on Facebook and I said, I don't care if this loses me a bunch of friends. I think this whole Scotty Morris thing is a monstrosity. And
Right.
I'm much more angry at the people who have witch hunted his parents than I am at anyone else.
Yeah.
And Susie said, kids are assholes. I have 3 of them. They can't see around the corner and they make
Sure.
these dumb decisions.
Sure. Absolutely.
I had another host of a podcast where people go missing, Marissa from The Vanished, who said, she has 3 sons, similarly aged to Scotty, a little older, a little younger. And, she said the thing that bothered her the most, she thought wearing a t-shirt is shaming also,
Mhm.
but she said the thing that bothered her the most is that the people that jumped on this and immediately attacked his parents, and also within 2 weeks, no one will be saying the name Scotty Morris anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the part that stings.
Yeah.
Will anyone
this
give a
is
shit, or is it just
No.
armchair detectives
It's
who
busybody.
attack?
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the attacks do not come from a healthy place. This is not, oh, hey, these parents aren't the best parents. Let's as a society help them become better parents. No, this is, I'm a horrible parent, but I'm not going to look at myself. I'm going to point at them.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, yay, this kid gets taken away from these horrible parents. The thought process isn't going all the way through to
Nope.
now these kids
now
are
what happens?
they're in foster.
Anyone checking on them
There's
now? Nope. I don't see any reports. How's Scotty doing? How's
No.
his siblings doing? How are his parents doing?
Yeah, how is any of yeah.
Right.
Okay. And it wasn't even, yes, I have made horrible parenting moves in my
Every human
life,
has.
in my parenting career that I really hope nobody got a picture of.
Right.
And then, except that I know that my kids have that kind of thing ingrained, and I've come back and I've said, look, I'm sorry for doing that.
Because that just shows what a great parent you are.
But I really hope that nobody saw it because, yeah, especially no family services people, child services people.
Because everything could be mistaken for something else. When your child makes a decision to run away from home, the first thing, like with a partner, if your partner dies, you're, suspect number one. When a child runs away, the parents killed them. And that poor mom at a press conference, who amongst us is prepared to be, you're petrified because your child ran away, you're under lights, you're under pressure, people are shoving microphones in your face. She, in my mind, did a great job of being a human and said, Scotty, I know you're scared, you're not in trouble, please come home, we'll work this out. She said the exact right things.
Perfect.
And it wasn't fancy talk or a press release. She wasn't reading anything. It was from her fucking heart. And you can say it wasn't good enough or strong enough or smooth enough, and you can go fuck yourselves.
That sounds like the perfect message. Like, yeah, absolutely. And it's scary.
Of course, it's scary for everyone. It's scary for the kid. It's scary for the parents. It's scary for the siblings. It's scary for the community. You don't know if a kid has been kidnapped or if the parents are nuts and they killed him or ran away.
Yeah.
We've all, I ran away one time and I took a can of tuna fish and some crackers and ran away, and I'd forgotten the can opener. So I went back home.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've all done stupid fucking shit.
Yeah.
We're all humans as parents and as kids. I don't have parents, so I feel like I have so much less ground to stand on here, but I'm just going to tell you, the people that bother me the most are the ones who were screaming the loudest that his parents were murderers. Those people were absolutely part of the problem and never, ever part of the solution. Never. And I am so angry.
No, this is mess. You're absolutely right that this is a family it sounds like functional as any other family.
Right. And dysfunctional.
As any other family.
Exactly.
And, people, and now they're torn apart by
even more
by busybody.
They sure didn't help is what I'm trying to say.
Rumor mill kind of. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the part that bothers me is the behavior of journalists. I mean, the people that read what the journalists write and then contact me and say, this case is really big here. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a case of a kid who ran away that in a week and a half, we're all going to be like, oh yeah, he's back. Everything's fine. It just, I am grateful for people who, report things, and I am angry at people who write things that others take as gospel. And I mean, I have one of our amazing tipsters. I think she's lived in Kentucky, Ohio, and in Indiana. I think she's living in Kentucky now. And she is the mother of, I think her daughter's like 9. And she said, I couldn't believe the stuff I was reading. I just sort of passed by and didn't take it in because I knew that wasn't the whole story. That's the kind of, and look, who consumes a lot of true crime? Me. I also am one of those people that's like, I'm not going to make a decision, and especially maybe because I'm not a parent, especially on parenting. I thought, well, okay, maybe the shirt isn't like the best thing to do. It also is far from the worst thing to do. In my mind.
No, it's not. I mean, it's from where I'm sitting, I am I am doing the best I can as a parent.
Right.
And I know everybody else is too. Even when I see stuff that's even more over the line in my personal strategies as a parent,
Right.
even if when I see that in a park or in a, out whatever,
Right.
I still say, okay, I don't know the whole story. I don't know the whole thing. And I reserve my judgment.
Right. Because you are a normal, normal as far as it goes, rational human being. I can't even, I'm still having an issue with this because I tried so hard not to be angry at people who would send me, it's like, well, this is going on. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And yet it's fine. I mean, I feel like a shit saying I knew he was fine, but I knew he was fine, yeah. Anyway. So now that I'm done bitching, and thank you for your opinion, Joshua, Scotty's back home. I don't think he's with his parents yet, but he's back home. Hopefully we'll find out that he is.
I hope so.
I do too.
I hope that nothing unfortunately they're going through this right now, but I hope that when all of the public stuff dies down, they can go back to
Me too.
their own dysfunction.
I hope they can heal. I hope everybody can heal.
Yeah.
So, abrupt left turn. If you have any information about the Caitlin Markham case, it seems like it's chugging along, and I'm pretty happy about that. Please call the Butler Township Police at 937-890-2671. You can call us, the Tipster hotline, at 832-TIPSTER. That's 832-847-7837. You can email us at jttipsters@gmail.com. You can find us on all the social media platforms, and more cowbell.
If you would like to support this podcast and get early access and other cool murderous swag, go to patreon.com/justthetipsters.